Hey friends, Gary here. Welcome to today's video. Today is the first episode of the Collective Gallery where you submit your photos and get a chance to be featured on one of my videos. The goal with the Collective Gallery is to encourage you to have fun with photography, take more pictures, and share your pictures with us so that you can inspire other people in the photography community. Less talk about gear, more taking pictures and having fun doing photography. If you want to participate, go to this link right here. I will also provide a clickable link on the description below. But today we have 6 photos, awesome photos from you guys in the community, and they are so beautiful. Let's start with the first one. First photo is by RogueSplice. You can find more of his work on the Lightroom link that he provided. The title of the photo is Gary's album cover. Not quite sure that it's me. My name is also Gary, but I think that's his friend or his relatives. Anyway, he took the picture with Panasonic Lumix GH6 Leica 42.5mm Nocticron lens, shutter speed 1 second, aperture f1.2. Interesting, I will comment on that. ISO 320, camera modes as on high res. So obviously this is a long shutter, long exposure photo. As you can see on the photo, you get that blurry, smooth water moving, and that's really nice. However, I'm quite interested with his decision on using the f1.2 aperture. I know that he's using shutter priority, but f1.2, maybe he'd like to blur the foreground more or something like that. Maybe RogueSplice will comment on this video and explain it a little bit more. Anyway, the photo was captured in San Francisco, California, October 17, 2025. So it's pretty recent. Nighttime beach photography. Also knew I had to get Gary a shot for his album. So this is the inspiration of, why he took the photo. And what's interesting from this photo, he mentioned getting colors that match Gary's sneakers. Wow, that's so the colors that we are seeing on this photo are actually matching Gary's sneakers. Maybe this is a part of the creative choice because again, he mentioned that this is an album cover. So yeah, quite interesting. And the challenge was it's being pretty dark and pulling up the colors from the light that was left. Yeah, I can see that maybe this is way past beyond sunset or blue hours, and I understand that struggle with very little light. You cannot really get that much texture and colors from your photo, but sometimes it gives a different kind of vibe, a different kind of mood where it feels calm and also peaceful. But yeah, RogueSplice, thank you for your submission. This is a great photo, very inspiring for sure. I haven't done too much of long exposure besides my photos from Iceland where I do plenty of waterfall photos, but this inspires me to do more long exposure shots. Really nice composition. I love the fact that the little hills on the oceans has a kind of unique shape as well, and also the sky still has a little bit of that pink on the horizon. I love it so much. The smooth water on the foreground, everything just looks balanced and nice and peaceful. Give me that relaxing vibe. And yeah, let me know if Gary already released his album and I'd like to check it out. I'm also a little bit of musician and I'd love to hear other people's work as well. Next photo is from John Kilmerstone, and you can find him on YouTube. He's also a YouTuber, and his account is Camera Baka. He provided the link right there. The title of the photo is Rajasthani Musician. Very interesting, by the way. And he used the Panasonic GH6, one of my favorite camera, with the Zuiko 12 to 40mm at 40mm. I also had that lens. That's my workhorse lens for YouTube B-roll shooting. Camera setting, f2.8, 1/162nd. ISO 240mm manual white balance. That's very interesting, shooting with manual white balance. I rarely do that, but I can see that the white balance, the colors, everything on this photo look awesome. So yeah, nice creative choice, by the way, John. And This was taken at Rajasthan Fort, India, Australia, the 20th, 2018. And the inspiration, he was mesmerizing a character. Yeah, I agree. The musician, I think he looks charming, and I think, he's kind of friendly, holding his musical instruments, and the way he has the hat and also the background. Everything about it looks very interesting. What's very interesting about this photo, the subject's weathered face and colorful clothing. Yes, I agree that adds a lot of character into this particular photo. And portrait really needs a strong subject. If you're doing portrait and your subject doesn't have any strong elements, then everything else will be distracting and the portrait will not be as strong. Challenge. There was nothing difficult about taking this picture. Just input your setting, then point and shoot. I disagree, John. I think you are very experienced photographer because clearly you have a really balanced composition. You know how to frame, and you also know when to capture the shot. That requires some kind of experience and also knowledge as well, because not many people can pull off a nice portrait like this. But anyway, John, very nice photo. Congratulations. I think this is very inspiring for us who want to try to do portrait more. Something like this can be an inspiration for us, and trying to find a subject that has strong characters and trying to balance your photo so that nothing is overpowering the subject. I think that's the secret for getting a nice portrait. Next photo is from Matthew. You can find more of his work on Instagram at mattphotograph. The title of the photo is Civic District in Focus, Singapore National Gallery. And yeah, he mentioned that the camera that he used to capture this photo is the OMD Olympus EM5 Mark II. Nice camera, by the way. Panasonic Leica DG Somilux 9mm f1.7. I also have that lens. I enjoy it so much. And the camera setting, manual, ISO 200, f2.8, half a second. Now he mentioned handheld. That's extremely interesting. Half a second and handheld without tripod. Good job, Matthew. Good job. I was never able to do that. Anyway, the picture was taken in Singapore National Gallery, 31st October 2025. And he mentioned that why he took this picture is because he attended a photo walk theme around Singapore's Civic District. This was one of the landmarks of the walk. I wanted a shot of the National Gallery building in the background with the public bus in motion in the foreground. You absolutely nailed it. You got the bus on the foreground, and with the slow shutter speed, you get the lines streaking caused by the bus lights. I think this is very interesting. Why is it interesting? You can read the destination of the bus orange LED display. I saw it on camera and I was, whoo, yeah, I agree. We can kind of read the text a little bit on the orange LED, the destination of the bus. And, we get that, repeating effect with the light. I think that's very interesting. Nicely done, nicely done. Now, the challenge of this photo. It was hard to get a nice motion blur of a vehicle handheld and low to the ground without support, and also getting everything in focus. Experimented with the exposure settings and testing out on different vehicles. Once I'm happy with the setting, I waited for a bus to come, and this was the photo. Excellent job. Wow, I'm quite sure that you took a lot of time trying to nail this photo, because this does not look like just a random snapshot. I think everything was calculated. I think, you really, as you mentioned, experimented a lot with this photo, and I think it turned out really nice. And, doing handheld photography without tripod, again, that is still mind-blowing. I know that the Olympus cameras does better job with, handheld long shutter kind of things compared to my Panasonic Lumix cameras. But still, wow, nicely done, Matthew, nicely done. This is very inspiring for sure. Next photo is from Kausthita. You can find more of the work at Instagram at Kausthita. The title is Nothing the Sea Can't Fix. And yeah, I can definitely see some people relaxing on the beach, looking at the sea and just enjoying the beautiful light right there. Yeah, very nice. Camera Sony A6400 with the TT Artisan 75mm f2. Nice combo. I have the Sony ZV-E10. I never tried the TT Artisan 75mm f2 yet, but looking at this, it looks great. Setting manual ISO 100 f2.2, 4000 shutter speed. Where it was taken, Tithal Beach, Gujarat, India. Took it in February. I just got a new lens and wanted to test it out with friends. I love the calm summer vibe it captures every time I visit the beach. I love beaches to relax. I agree with you. I also love to spend some time at the beach just to relax and to unwind, just to enjoy the scenery of the ocean, feeling the breeze on my skin, that kind of thing. Challenge of this photo. The timing of the day can be challenging and the not so perfect focusing of the lens. So I'm assuming this is a manual focus lens. Let me know on the comment down below. The challenge with focusing using a manual focus lens at a longer telephoto focal length, I can definitely understand that, because the longer the focal length is, the more precise you have to be when it comes to focus. But first of all, I want to comment on a few things of this photo. I really love the colors. I don't know what white balance setting that you use or if you edit the photo, things like that. But you know, the warm yellowish color of everything just looks so nice in my opinion. There is no right or wrong when it comes to color, in my own opinion. But this gives a certain kind of vibe, a mood, you know, like this is afternoon, almost sunset, but not yet sunset, and it's just relaxing, and I can totally feel the vibe right here. And we can see a little bit of the reflections of the sun on the upper left part of the image. I think that's very nice, you know, that adds a little bit of a contrast, something that is bright, the interplay between a highlight and shadow with this image. Really inspiring. Anyway, Kausthita, really nice photo. Thank you for submitting. Next photo is from Rich, and he didn't provide any link that he would like to share. But anyway, the title of the photo is Autumn Life. Yes, I agree. This photo represents autumn life. And it's fleeting quickly, as I understand, because winter is coming. Took my G80 to a local stately home, spotted the moldy berries with a wasp or something on them, and it really caught my eye. I can see the wasp right there, definitely. I'm not quite sure if it's a wasp or a bee or something, but the difference in terms of colors between the berries and the particular animal, that was really contrasting and caught my eye as well. He also mentioned it was either A or M. I cannot quite remember. I'm trying to use M more when there's no rush like with this. I agree with you. When I have plenty of time, I will usually switch to full manual. But when I was just walking around and I just want to capture moments quickly, aperture priority is the way to go. 200mm on a 45 to 200mm zoom lens, f5.6. 500 shutter speed. Yeah, that's a nice setting. I never tried the 45 to 200 zoom lens before. I'd love to try it someday. Maybe I can consolidate some of my lenses with just the 45 to 200. We'll see. Challenge. First time really trying to use RAW and processing off camera. I don't have good color vision, so it makes me nervous. But I think you did a great job with the color of this photo. I mean, usually I don't do a lot of white balance tweaking when it comes to colors. I just like to leave it as it is. But on my camera, usually I'd like to add a little bit of blue on my white balance just to make things look a little bit more cooler. That's my personal preference, and just leave it as it is when I'm editing raw photo. But anyway, Rich, really nice photo. I can definitely feel the autumn vibe of this photo, the moldy berry and also the wasp in the middle right there, the contrast between the animal and the plants and the colors as well. I really enjoyed it. This is very inspiring. Thank you for submitting. Next photo is from Tamara. I'm assuming this is Instagram. You can find more of the work at Framing Curiosity. And some information about the photo, taken on a GX80 with the Lumix G Vario 45 f4 to f5.6. I'm assuming this is the same lens as before, 45 to 200mm zoom lens at 80mm f5 200 shutter speed. Some more information, Belgrade, Serbia, framing a church bell tower within an iron fence in a wonderful mid-fall sunset light, which is more of a pink hour than a golden hour. The white tower just called to be photographed. Well, yes, I can definitely see that. I love this kind of photo, by the way, Tamara. I love to use frame within frame like what you are doing in this photo. You know, adding some more foreground to help frame a certain object in the photo, especially with a telephoto lens. That's always fun and inspiring as well. I think you did it excellent in this photo. The challenge was the slow lens and the noise, which gave the image an imperfect look of a postcard that I quite enjoy. I didn't really notice too much grain actually, except a little bit on the sky and on the border between the sky and the iron fence. But again, as you mentioned, it adds a lot of character into the image. I really enjoyed this, by the way. This is so inspiring. The contrast between the colors of a church tower with the sky and also the iron fence. I think everything is just balanced and excellent. I think this is really well done. Congratulations, Tamara. Thank you for your submission. Anyway, that was all of the photos that you submitted in this period. Again, if you want to submit more pictures, please don't hesitate to go to this link right here. But please limit only one submission per day per person. But anyway, again, thank you so much, guys. I think the photos that you submit in this particular episode are very inspiring. I mean, they make me want to go out and take more pictures, and hopefully you feel the same way as well. After you saw all of these photos, you feel inspired to take more pictures and go out and have some more fun with photography. That's always the goal of the Collective Gallery series. Anyway, allow me to just share one picture. Now I'm feeling like I have to raise my standard because all of the pictures that you guys are showing before are excellent. So allow me to share photos that I captured a few weeks ago during my trip to Iceland. This is the picture of Mount Kirkjufell from Grundarfjörður. That was on the Snæfellsnes Peninsula in the western part of Iceland. This was taken early morning, about 8:30 or 9 AM or something like that, with my Panasonic Lumix GF9 with the Panasonic Leica 9mm f1.7. I think the setting is f2.8, 2 seconds shutter speed. So this is a long shutter kind of exposure with ISO 200 full manual. And yeah, I really love this photo so much. This mountain, I think, has a special connection with me. I'm always inspired whenever I look at Kirkjufell mountain. The meaning of Kirkjufell itself is the church mountain. And yeah, I don't know, maybe that's what makes it so spiritual for me or something like that. But the blue sky behind, it was just so beautiful. You can see a little bit of sunlight rays hitting the mountain and creating some pockets of lights on the body of the mountain and sculpting some textures on it. Also a little bit of that sunlight hitting the rocks on the foreground as well, with the beautiful sky, beautiful weather, because the day before it was raining non-stop. So getting a clear, beautiful blue sky like this in the morning is just, oh my God. I still remember the feeling when I was taking this particular picture. It was cold, a little bit windy, but you know, I was feeling very satisfied when I stand there watching Kirkjufell while pressing the shutter button on my camera. Oh my God, I really miss Iceland. But anyway, that wraps up today's episode of the Collective Gallery. Hopefully all of the pictures has been inspiring for you guys, make you want to go out and take more pictures. Again, please submit your photo with the link provided down below. And I will see you guys on the next episode of the Collective Gallery. Thank you and goodbye.